I think we have 44 days until the opener on September 13th. I think there's 6 off days of those 44. So we have to make every day count. Even those off days, the guys got to make sure that they're serious about their recovery. So we'll be efficient. I think we have a really strong plan in terms of how we're going to ramp it up. Obviously, the NFL gave us a very strict guideline on how to do that, but even within those guidelines, I think we have a really strong plan in making sure that we safely acclimate these players and then continue to teach these systems. You know, I go back to our off-season program. I was really impressed with the amount of work we were able to get done back in the spring. Right now, the rookies and the quarterbacks are in phase 1, as it's called. And so right now they're strength and conditioning, and we got a 1-hour walkthrough with them. So that's going to come up here at 4:30. And then it's on the 3rd, I believe, when the rest of the vets they report into phase 1. Phase 1, again, very similar to phase 1 in the spring, just the difference being we get a 60-minute walkthrough. And I can tell you, we don't need any. We'll use the meeting time, but we need time on the grass with the players. So really looking forward to getting out there and being around the players at 4:30 today. Once we start practicing, which is about the middle of August, I think practice will look very similar to how you know it. Prior to that, walkthroughs, we've discussed early in these walkthroughs, we're not going to huddle. And that's something that is the antithesis of an offensive coach. That first meeting you have is about the huddle and having a tight huddle and breaking the huddle. And we're going to make sure we spread everybody out. And again, it just goes back to early on in this thing, we want to have an abundance of caution to make sure we're keeping our players and staff safe.
Even since the new practice rules came out, where you found out about the whole long ramp up period and all that kind of stuff, do you think that you will have to simplify your schemes and your game plans and sort of pare things down a little bit so that you guys can really be ready to roll?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think we have to be mindful. You don't want to, like I mentioned before, I definitely don't want to do too much too soon. But there is a certain amount of install that you have to get through. So we're very, very intentional about how we put our plan together. And we want to make sure that come September 13th, we're in a position to put together a game plan to give the guys an opportunity to go play fast. So that's something that we have to be mindful from practice 1 all the way through our preparations for Baltimore. It's a challenge, no doubt, something that is very unique. But there's opportunity here, and I think it's our team, our organization is certainly positioning itself so that we can get out there, get our players in a safe environment, get our coaches here safely, and get to work.